Republicans making news about trying to demand records for Joe Biden's son, Hunter Biden, and his travels. All of this raising a lot of questions about what the end of the acquittal means and whether there is still an effort to use government power to go after the Bidens or other people that Donald Trump considers on his enemies list. We're going to get into that and a whole lot more right now. I'm joined by Deputy Campaign Manager and Communications Director for Joe Biden's campaign, Katie Bedingfield. Thanks for joining me.
Hi, thanks for having me.
Absolutely. As mentioned, I want to get into all that, but let me give you a quick clean opener. Where has Joe Biden been the last few days, and what does he want to get across tonight at the debate?
Yeah, so he's here today in New Hampshire. He was sitting down with local media, meeting New Hampshire voters where they are in their living rooms. And tonight he's really going to lay out the case for his candidacy. He's going to raise some really tough questions that voters need to ask themselves about who they want to put forward to face Donald Trump. We have candidates in this race who are professed socialists, who are putting forward health care plans that cost $30 trillion in Medicare for all and take away the right of people to choose their own health care. We have candidates in this race who lack the experience and the steady hand, the kind of leadership that Joe Biden can bring, that he has throughout his career. He has a long record of progressive achievement. And there are other candidates in this race who simply don't have that experience and I would argue, would not be ready on day one. So you're going to hear Vice President Biden make a very fiery, forceful case for his candidacy tonight, and that he is the right person to put up against Donald Trump next November.
In terms of the pressure on him and other candidates, we spoke tonight about how historically, there's usually two tickets out of New Hampshire. He was fourth in Iowa. He's polling fourth here now, or tied for third with Warren, depending on how you count it. Take a listen to what some people are saying about Joe Biden's prospects.
Mayor Pete is the alternative to Joe Biden, and you've got him taking up votes.
This is a critical moment for Joe Biden. He cannot afford to do poorly in New Hampshire. He cannot afford to do poorly in Nevada and go on.
I'm saying that anyone that hasn't won at least one of those states is toast after next week. That's correct.
The last remark coming from the campaign manager for Mike Bloomberg, as you know, who clearly is gunning for your potential lane and your supporters. What do you say to people who say, look, Joe Biden is not on pace to be top two here, and if he isn't, he's on pace to lose?
Joe Biden is a fighter. He's resilient. He has taken some lumps in his life, and he knows what it means to fight. And I think you saw him this Wednesday here in New Hampshire really give a strong case for why he's the guy who should go up against Donald Trump. He made a really forceful, kind of fiery case on Wednesday morning, and he drew some sharp contrasts. And like I said, you're going to hear him make some of those contrasts on the debate stage tonight as well. But then he also that evening did a town hall where he was asked about overcoming a stutter as a child and gave an incredibly empathetic, open, kind, honest, and raw answer that I think everybody watching that town hall felt sort of moved by. And I think folks who saw that clip online felt moved by. It was an incredibly powerful moment, and it reminds people who Joe Biden is. And it couldn't be a stronger contrast with the president who currently occupies this White House.
Right.
And I think voters who are looking for somebody to restore a sense of empathy.
Yep. That goes to the last thing I promised I would ask you about, mentioned in the lead. Does the campaign view Senate Republicans now all of a sudden requesting the records for a Biden family member? Do you view that as a potential abuse of their power to meddle in 2020?
I think it is a grotesque political attempt to try to smear the person that they most don't want to face. They have been very clear from the outset. I mean, you saw Senator Ernst in Iowa last week just flat out saying, with the whole impeachment process has been about trying to smear Joe Biden because we don't want to have to face him in November. So I think it is again a grotesque abuse of our political process, but it's also a reminder to voters that they have the opportunity to put the person up against Donald Trump, who he most fears and who he knows is the biggest threat to his reelection. So, I think more than anything, it reminds voters that that's who it.
And we have a slight satellite delay. I'm short on time. Katie, good luck tonight. As I say to all the candidates, thanks for joining us. We'd love to have you back. Hey, I'm Ari Melber from MSNBC. You can see more of our videos right here, or better yet, subscribe to our YouTube channel below. You could have been anywhere in the world, but you're here with us, and we appreciate that.